Perfect, here's a long and detailed retelling of Chapter 3. Human Origins and Hybridization from Voyagers 1, The Sleeping Abductees by Ashayana Deane. This chapter continues naturally from the previous one, now moving from the mechanics of alien interaction, cheilontic science, abduction, and perception, into the history of human creation, genetics, and the hidden cosmic lineage of humanity. Chapter 3. Human Origins and Hybridization. 1. The Big Picture. Ashayana begins by explaining that to truly understand humanity's purpose, one must look far beyond Earth's surface history. Human life, she says, is not a random product of evolution or divine miracle alone, but rather the intentional outcome of interstellar genetic design, part of an ancient experiment conducted by multiple extraterrestrial and interdimensional races. The Guardians refer to this ancient project as the Turaneusiam Experiment, an evolutionary mission created millions of years ago to seed a new form of life that could hold the full spectrum of divine source energy within a biological form. This angelic human design was meant to be a living bridge between dimensions, embodying both matter and spirit. But over the eons, this plan was disrupted, hijacked by other races with conflicting motives, resulting in the hybridization and distortion of human DNA. 2. The original humans, the Turaneusiam. The Guardians teach that long before Earth's modern civilization, an advanced humanoid race known as the Turaneusiam, pronounced Turaneusiam, existed in higher dimensions, particularly within the planet Tara, Earth's earlier incarnation in a higher density time field. The Turaneusiam were designed by founder races the Brno and the Iene of the Guardian Alliance as part of the Emerald Covenant, a sacred agreement among many interdimensional races to promote peaceful evolution and maintain the original Christos, divine blueprint, genetic pattern. These beings had a 12-strand DNA template, fully active and capable of interdimensional travel, communication with source, and manifestation through thought. They could consciously move between densities, what we might call ascension. However, conflict soon arose within the galaxy, as certain races rejected the Emerald Covenant and sought to alter or control the new human strain for their own purposes. These dissident groups included early Zeta, Dracos, and fallen Anu Elohim collectives. 3. The seeding of Earth in the 12 tribes. According to the Voyagers narrative, the Turaneusiam seeded several versions of humanity in different time cycles on Earth, known as the root races. Each cycle represented a new attempt to reintroduce the original genetic pattern after previous distortions. The first 2 seeding attempts, millions of years ago, ended in planetary cataclysms. The third seeding began approximately 560 million years ago on Terra, and eventually continued on Earth after Terra's fall into lower dimensions. The human family we know today is part of this third seeding designed through 12 distinct genetic lines called the 12 tribes. Each tribe held a specific strand of the 12-strand DNA code, representing different attributes: spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, and connected to 12 planetary stargates. Together, these tribes were meant to collectively rebuild the full DNA potential of the original Turaneusiam race. However, as the chapter emphasizes, interference began early in this process. Competing ET factions sought to splice their own DNA patterns into the developing human gene pool, producing hybrid species that eventually became the ancestors of modern humanity. 4. The Silicate Matrix. At the core of this teaching is what the Guardians call the Silicate Matrix, the original human DNA template, perfectly balanced with 12 active strands. This matrix was not simply biological, but energetic, composed of cheilontic symbol codes that align the body's atomic structure to higher dimensional frequencies. When fully activated, this matrix allows regeneration and immortality, conscious interdimensional travel, direct communication with higher intelligences, manifestation through thought, and eternal connection with Source. Most modern humans, however, have only 2 active DNA strands, while the remaining 10 are dormant or fragmented, the result of ancient genetic tampering by outside races. The Silicate Matrix, then, is humanity's original instruction set a divine template that, once restored, would return humans to their intended angelic state. 5. Hybridization, the visitor's influence. Deane describes how over millions of years, multiple alien species became involved in the manipulation of the human genome. Some joined the Emerald Covenant and worked to preserve the purity of the original design. Others pursued their own agendas. The benevolent lineages, guardian races, Turaneusiam, Lyran Syrian, Elohai, Azurite, sought to uplift and guide humans, restoring DNA integrity through teachings, spiritual practices, and direct incarnation into human forms. The interfering or rebellious lineages. Zeta Reticuli created hybrid races through forced crossbreeding programs, producing sterile or distorted offshoots with emotional and reproductive limitations. Dracos, draconian reptilians, engineered warrior hybrids designed to dominate and control less advanced civilizations, including humans. Fallen Enu Elohim and Nephilim lines. Once part of the Emerald Covenant, they rebelled and used their genetic knowledge to create part angelic, part reptilian hybrids. These are the legendary Nephilim, often referenced in ancient texts as the giants or sons of the gods. This hybridization process led to great variety in human DNA expression and the eventual rise of competing bloodlines on Earth, some aligned with the Guardians, Christos, others with the intruder races. 6. The Zionites and other genetic branches. The Zionite lineages are mentioned as hybrid races descended from a combination of Guardian and Zeta genetics. Some of these Zionite humans were benevolent and worked under the Emerald Covenant. Others were infiltrated by Zeta factions and became tools for manipulation. These mixed lineages, she says, are why many modern humans contain latent ET genetic markers, giving rise to varying psychic abilities, physical differences, and spiritual inclinations. Certain hybrids, like the Zionites, were used by the intruders to create controlled societies and religious systems designed to steer humanity's collective belief away from self-empowerment toward worship and dependence on external gods. 7. Human hybrid pregnancies. Deane discusses the phenomenon of abduction pregnancies, explaining that some modern abduction cases involving reproductive experiments are continuations of these ancient hybrid programs. However, she distinguishes between two major agendas. The Zeta Genetic Rescue Program. The dying Zeta races seek to restore their DNA by creating hybrids with humans. Their motives, though survival-based, are self-serving, and their methods often violate free will. The Guardian Bioregeneration Project. The Guardians also create hybrids, but with the goal of repairing damaged DNA and reactivating the silicate matrix within the human collective. Both involve crossbreeding, but one serves manipulation, the other, restoration. In many cases, abductees with strong Guardian lineage are targeted by both sides, leading to conflicting experiences of fear and benevolence, trauma and awakening. 8. Turaneusiam and planetary gene pools. A more complex concept introduced here is the Turaneusiam, which the Guardians describe as the planetary genetic library, the collection of all life-form DNA templates within Earth's morphogenetic field. The Turaneusiam contains genetic imprints from every seeding experiment conducted here, making Earth a unique laboratory of biological and spiritual diversity. Because of this, the planet is seen as strategically important at genetic crossroads, and thus the focus of many ET interventions. Control of Earth's Turaneusiam, Deane says, equates to control of the evolutionary direction of multiple species. This is why both Guardian and intruder factions are deeply invested in the planet's fate. 9. Why humans forget their origins. According to the Guardians, the veil of forgetfulness around the human origins was deliberately installed through a combination of DNA fragmentation, frequency fences placed around Earth to block communication with higher dimensions, and cultural manipulation, religion, media, and science, engineered by hybrid bloodlines to suppress awareness of the truth. These limitations caused humanity to fall into a cycle of reincarnation without memory of its divine purpose, disconnected from source and easily influenced by external powers. 10. Restoring the Angelic Human. Despite all this, Deane emphasizes hope. The Angelic Human lineage has never been fully lost. The original silicate matrix still exists within human DNA. Dormant but recoverable. The Guardian Alliance's bioregenesis program was designed to assist in reawakening these codes through spiritual discipline, energy work, and chelantic techniques. Activating these higher DNA strands reconnects the person with their multidimensional identity, allowing them to remember their extraterrestrial heritage and align with the Christos mission once more. When enough individuals reactivate their DNA, the collective frequency of the planet will shift, freeing Earth from intruder influence and rejoining it with the guardian networks of the Emerald Covenant. 11. Summary of the human lineage story. Group/concept description. Role in human evolution. Turaneusiam, the original 12-strand angelic humans from Tara, designed to embody divine source and bridge dimensions. Emerald Covenant interstellar treaty among guardian races. Protects evolving species from manipulation. Silicate matrix, original 12-strand DNA template, blueprint for full human potential. Goyon Zeta Draco races, intruder factions from Orion systems, seek to hybridize or control human genetics. Nephilim fallen hybrid race, mixing angelic and reptilian DNA, symbol of distortion of original template. Zionites mixed hybrid offshoots, some benevolent, some corrupted, present in modern human populations. Turaneusiam planetary genetic library, Earth's DNA archive, holds evolutionary codes of all species. 12. The underlying message. The chapter ends with a reflection. Humanity's diverse races, cultures, and even internal conflicts all stem from this ancient genetic blending. What looks like social or political division today has cosmic roots. Yet, according to the Guardians, the purpose of this complex ancestry is not punishment or random chaos, it's experience. Through confronting both light and shadow lineages within ourselves, we reclaim the wholeness of our multidimensional nature. The path forward is not denial of our hybrid origins, but integration, consciously choosing to align with the Guardian, Christos frequencies, rather than the intruder distortions. Every human being, she says, carries within them the spark of the original Turaneusiam race. By remembering who we truly are, we restore the covenant and fulfill the ancient mission of the angelic human. Tone and intent. Chapter 3 reads like both cosmic anthropology and spiritual revelation. It blends mythic storytelling, ET history, and DNA metaphysics to explain human diversity and destiny. Its central message is empowerment. We are not victims of alien manipulation, but descendants of divine engineers who build our bodies to be vehicles of cosmic consciousness. Would you like me to retell Chapter 4, Hidden Motives and Mechanics? Next, that one reveals how certain ET factions and human elites work together through frequency fences, holographic inserts, and false belief systems to maintain control over the human race.